Is not Pastor Joe again. Hey, just wanted to thank you guys and welcome you to our Beyond, our Thursday service. And it's our virtual service where, when we dive deeper into the topic of Sunday's message. And I am just really excited to be able to be a part of this with you and bring this group of really fine people together to chat about it, kind of dive into it, reflect on it. I'm, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Edward Amy. I'm one of our elders here, and I'm also commissioned by the LCMS. So it's kind of a pleasure to kind of bring you this message and look forward to spending Sunday morning with you as well. So Joe and Sarah and the Barron babies, almost kind of like Beanie Babies, Barron babies, are still on vacation, enjoying some time away with family, and we wish them the best and blessings in that time. But tonight we're gonna rest a little bit and talk a little bit about gratitude, and we're gonna do that by kind of looking a little bit at sort of what's the spirit of this age, and then walking through what a spirit of gratitude has the ability to do, and its power over what we might call the spirit of this age. So if you guys will join me, I'm going to do just a prayer and ask God to be a part of this. And then we'll listen to some amazing music to kind of get us into that worshipful and reflective space. All right. Oh, Father God, first and foremost, we just thank you that you love us so much, that you are so intimate in our lives, even though you are the Almighty. And so, Lord, we just ask you to be intimate with us here in this time, as we reflect on your word, as we look at your works in our lives, and as we explore what a heart of gratitude for your amazing gifts looks like in our time. Please be with us. Please bless this time. May you be glorified. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So I'm going to throw it over to Sarah to open us up with some music.
All right. Our first song is a tune called Diamonds. Here and now I'm in the fire above my head. Oh, 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 being held under the pressure, don't know what'll be left. Oh, oh, but it's here in the ashes that I'm finding the treasure. Yeah, he's making diamonds, diamonds, diamonds out of dust. He is refining, and in his timing, he's making diamonds out of us. I surrender to the power of being crushed by love. Oh, 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 till the beauty that was hidden isn't covered up. Oh, 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 well, it's not what I hoped for. Oh, but it's something better. Yes, he's making diamonds, diamonds, diamonds out of dust. He is refining, and in his timing, he's making diamonds out of us. Oh, the joy of the Lord, it'll be my strength. When the pressure is on, he's making diamonds. Oh, the joy of the Lord, it will be my strength. When the pressure is on, he's making diamonds. Oh, the joy of the Lord, it'll be my strength. When the pressure is on, he's making diamonds, diamonds, making us rise up from the dust. He is refining, and in his timing, he's making diamonds out of dust. He's making diamonds out of us. I won't be afraid to shine. I won't be afraid to shine. Oh, I won't be afraid to shine, 'cause he's making diamonds dust. He's making diamonds out of us. I am, speaking of gratitude, I am so grateful to get to be here with everybody, worshiping our awesome God and lifting him up. There is a musical artist, he's a Christian artist named Toby Mac, and I've been aware of his music for probably the last 10 or 15 years, but I just so appreciate his heart for God and for lifting God's name up with music. And I was recently turned on to this song by Tim and Ed, and it's a tune that Toby wrote about his time in the music industry and how God really has a hand in all of it. And I really feel that this message speaks the same to the way I feel about music and its relationship to God. So this is a song called Thankful for You. It started out in a spare bedroom, 2 turntables and a microphone. I was flipping over 33s, working on rhymes and melodies, searching for some more of you and a little less of me. It's never been my dream to see my face in magazines. It's always been about the music, hoping God would use it to set some people free. But I can say without a doubt, never had it figured out. Lord, you open every door I step through it. I try to keep my head about it, thankful for the friends around me. I'm thankful for you, yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I'm thankful for you, yeah. I've been on this road, and you come to my shows. Sometimes just a few of y'all, other times in droves. All but you've been right there to rock with us. We come together, we lift him up. Seeing you there inspires me, put your fire in me. It's never been my dream to see my face in magazines. Always been about the music, hoping God would use it to set some people free. Oh, but I can say without a doubt, never had it figured out. Lord, you open every door I step through, and I try to keep my head about it. Thankful for the friends around me. I'm thankful for you. Yeah, I'm thankful for you. It's such a free feeling that you got me feeling. We're all good, all good, all good. I love that free feeling. You got me feeling. We're all good, all good, all good. Yes, I love that free feeling that you got me feeling. We're all good, yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. Lord, yeah, it's all good. It's never been my dream to see my face in magazines. It's always been about the music, hoping God would use it to set some people free. But I can say without a doubt, never had it figured out. Lord, you open every door I step through, and I try to keep my head about it. Thankful for the friends around me. I'm thankful for you, yeah. Oh, and I can say without a doubt, never had it figured out. Oh, you open every door that I step through, and I try to keep my head about it. Thankful for the friends around me. thankful for you. Yeah, yeah. I'm thankful for you. Yeah, I'm thankful for you. Yeah, I'm thankful for you. Thank you.
You know, okay, there's one thing I'm constantly amazed by. And this is some of my favorite artists, like, you know, Hawk Nelson, Toby Mac. And yet, no matter what song Sarah sings, Sarah makes the song her own. It is awesome. Thank you, hon. You bless us so tremendously. That was actually some of the coolest versions of those two songs I have ever heard beyond the artist's original version. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Sarah. Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
It's good to have this amazing crew of people who are way, way smarter than me. So I'm super excited to have them kind of help dive into this topic today. And our topic, as I mentioned earlier, is gratitude, but kind of in light of the sort of the concept of the spirit of the age. You know, each sort of epoch, you know, these sections of time sort of has like a spirit to it. You know, like post World War II was, you know, the spirit of the age was enthusiasm. It was hopefulness. It was optimism. The time we call, you know, the Cold War, which is, you know, the 60s, you know, 50s, early 50s into 60s, you know, the spirit of the age was a bit of fear. You know, so there's these just kind of, as they look back on it, and I asked the question, I wonder what we would call the spirit of this age that we're in. It certainly doesn't appear to be a spirit of love, right? We seem to be living in a time of anxiety, anger, division, frustration, hopelessness. You know, but what change of spirit do we need, right, to battle against this? Like, what is the answer, right? And I'd submit to you, it's gratitude. And I know that sounds a little odd, but a spirit of gratefulness in your view of life, right? Our worry, our anger, you know, even times of sadness are often rooted in our seeing things through the lens of what we don't have, what we've lost, or even might lose. And so I want to explore our perception of gratitude, what it is, what are we grateful for, or even when we think it's appropriate. And so kind of want to, you know, explore that with you guys, and have you sort of step back and think about, you know, when and how and why we're grateful. But I think to start that, I got maybe what might be an easy question, which is, you know, what does gratitude mean to you? So play with that one for a minute. I will take off the table your opportunity to use the dictionary definition. I'm going to give that to y'all, because I want your opinion of, and in your perception of, like, what is gratitude, right? So simple dictionary definition is the quality of being thankful, and I love the next part, readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. So what does gratitude mean to you?
Yeah, if I could start. First of all, I'd like to say hi to everyone out there tonight. It's good to be with you once again. I'd like to have a shout out to my in-laws, Connie and Dick, who are joining us today from Oregon.
Awesome. We're crossing state lines. I love it.
Yeah, good to know you guys are with us. And Rita and Glenn, it's good to see that you guys are with us as well. Wow, this is, I'm already gracious. I've got a lot of gratitude going already. But for me personally, I have to tell you, when I think of my feeling of gratitude, it all started out in how I was nurtured as a young man in my childhood from some wonderful parents, siblings that made me feel right at home, enjoying a life that was wonderful. Grew up in a big family with a lot of Irish, German, Italian Americans constantly celebrating together and taking the time to just love each other. And that love is, that passion really carries you through in life, to have that and have the ability to talk to people that you love and embrace them. And so I got off to a good start, and that continues with some of the people I mentioned just earlier in our church home. And ultimately, it's all centered around, obviously, our Savior. So,
right.
Thanks, Ed.
It's like we all smiled as you talked about family, and that it was kind of cool. It's like it sort of tapped into everybody right there.
I appreciate what Tony was sharing there too. Kind of similar things with family, mom and dad, that really taught us how to appreciate everything we had. And growing up, I mean, we think about our our parents' generation. They were the kids of the Depression. They were the kids that were just coming to their own when World War II broke out, and how those two significant historical events shaped their thoughts about, their attitudes about contentment. And I think for me, gratitude is learning from my parents about how to be content in all things. And I think about, the Apostle Paul too, saying, I've learned how to be content in all things. I've had nothing at all, and I've had great abundance, and I've been content. And that really is a pretty accurate reflection of how mom and dad raised us as well. And I guess part of growing up when we did and where we did, and dad worked really hard, but I would say we didn't have an abundance hardly ever, but we always had enough. Mm-hmm. And that was always enough, So that's kind of the cool thing that I grew up with and how I see gratitude.
Right on. Right on. Anybody else have thoughts on that? Sarah's got the hand up.
I always don't want to jump in and cut somebody off. I guess the way I think about gratitude, and this might sound a little dark, but I don't mean it to, centers around the concept of deserving things. And I've always felt this way since I was a little kid. You'll see an advertisement for something. It's like, have an ice cream. You deserve it. Like you're awesome. And while I don't have, self-esteem issues or anything, I don't feel that I or anyone really deserves anything. I know that sounds a little bleak, and it's not because of all the Russian literature I read, but I always hear deserve thrown around. And I'm like, no, I don't really deserve anything. So I think of the fact that that we get these things, and that God gives us forgiveness, gives us these gifts, which I have not earned. I just happen to be born in a really prosperous country. I mean, like, I didn't earn any of this. It's just a gift. So I feel extremely grateful just to exist, really. It's maybe a bit darker than I meant it to sound, but
actually, you're doing a nice foreshadow to Sunday, Sarah. Well played. Thank you for that. Yeah, I would say that you're tapping into the spirit of this age, with that, with what your kind of perspective and what you're talking about with what we have versus what we deserve. And, and then even gentleman I might talk a little bit about tonight, but I'll definitely talk more about on Sunday, a gentleman by the name of John O'Leary, which I highly encourage folks to check him out on the internet. Same kind of concept, is from the space you're coming from with regard to gratitude. Is it rooted in, like Tony and Tom, that teaching what contentment looks like, and rooted in, what's earned and deserved versus gift, and I think that starting point is what's fundamental in how we really view the world and how we live life, from either a place of gratitude or a place of want. So thanks for that. You set up Sunday really well. Appreciate it.
I mean, you deserve good things. I want good things for you. I'm just saying, no, deserve stuff.
Right.
It's interesting to me because, like, the word I wanted to use, but I think her description was far better, was I wanted to say perspective. To me, gratitude means perspective, because the same thing, like believing I deserve something, or that because that person has something that I think I should have that too, kind of imbalance where you don't appreciate what you have because you're thinking about what you don't have. And it's all about perspective. If you're fortunate and you listen and you grow and you let God in, you can gain the perspective that the Russian literature lady has, which is that as the song we love to sing is, every breath you take is a miracle. And when you can appreciate that reality, when you can appreciate that, and sometimes you have to lose things in order to appreciate how much you have. Losing a relative, or losing a job, or losing an important thing that you just really like. Like, where did I put that? Like Liz was looking for her water bottle today. Like that can make you appreciate your. No, I'm joking a little bit there, but that is where it's about perspective. It's hard to have gratitude if you don't realize how much you already have. But also, I want to make one more point real quick. Tom, you said your specific example was what we talked about last night in Crossfire, about contentment. I did a whole study around Tori Kelly, the artist, on her I Am Second and her whole career. And it was all about, especially in this COVID days, is helping with the kids that lost a lot this year, and helping them understand that it's not just that others have lost more or what. It's not to downplay how important it is. You can mourn these things, but you can still be content. You can still be content in the Lord. So, dude, right on.
Right on. Very cool. So I'd like to run. Oh, Cammie, did you want to chime in on that, or you're good? Or, as I noticed you're staying on mute, so I'm like,
I do have stuff. It's just my family is being so loud right now, and it's very distracting.
Keep seeing
We
yourself.
are grateful though to have family around us.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh. So gratitude, I just think really of being grateful and thankful, like grateful for my family, like Ed was saying. But also just because both my parents came from the Philippines, and they pretty much came here without much. And I remember growing up, like them saying, you should be grateful for the food on the table. You have to finish your plate before you leave. And I always kind of thought I was like kind of strict. But then my mom would talk about how, like, she would stay after school just to pick up trash in the cafeteria, and whatever, money she got from the cafeteria lady, she would go home and make food for her siblings, because she's the eldest of 4. And then she would divide it so everyone was equal, and she would get whatever the leftover was. And there was a point, like she could only get a certain item, once in a while. And my dad was more on the affluent side, so he didn't really have that struggle much, but to him, sports was his life. So when he blew out his knee in a soccer game and he couldn't play, he was devastated. Everything, like his world flipped upside down. So it's just kind of the little things, like being able to get up out of bed and to, walk to the bathroom without anything cracking or popping, just like the little things. So I kind of try to be more mindful of that nowadays with everything with COVID. So I kind of try to get in tune with that. So
how's that for perspective, Tim? Wow.
Cammie, you seem way too young to be cracking and popping as you get up out of bed. That's reserved for us others.
That came across my mind too, Tom. Yeah.
It's funny because so I turned 24 this year, and I got up and I kind of like twisted, and I was like, okay, like nothing cracked yet, I'm still good. Like as a joke. And I told my mom, and she just was like, looked at me like, really? That's the first thing you're gonna say?
All right. Well, to quote Bill Engvall, when I get up out of bed, it sounds like I'm walking on packing peanuts. Okay. So.
Same here, no doubt.
I'm just grateful to get up out of bed every morning.
There we go. See, perspective.
It is perspective, that's for sure, Tim. Yep. And seeing those little, taking joy in the little things.
Yes.
Wow. So I'd like to ask us a couple of questions that I want you to reflect on as we kind of go through this. And I'm going to ask you a question. So I'm giving you sort of the hint that there's another like other shoe to drop type of thing. And I'm going to flip it. I'm going to kind of flip on those questions and try to get us to dive into the idea of what gratitude really means in light of especially some of the neat stuff we've already shared here. So what like abilities, you can go either way. So what abilities or experiences are you grateful for?
Yeah, we spotted Anton there. We saw Anton. We saw
Cammy's
that.
brother just went by and trying to hide himself in a purple blanket.
That's not gonna happen.
Thing.
He still thinks he can hide underneath the
I'm just
blanket and
gonna-
he's safe.
Sorry about
He's grateful for that blanket.
So yeah, so abilities or experiences that you're grateful for.
I'm going to take the one that probably both these gentlemen will take before I could. So I'm going to just grab it and run. I'm going to grab all the points I can and say, I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful to be married.
Right on. That's not an ability. Well, I guess that's an experience.
It's an
The
experience.
of being married.
Getting married was an experience. I was grateful for.
Yes, it was. I was there.
I'm grateful for the fact that how many years have it been now? I mean, geez Louise, 23 years. We're in our 24th. I mean, that's is that right, Liz? Did I get that right? She's 15 seconds behind. She has no idea what I'm saying right now. Anyway,
That's right, Tim. That's right.
I don't even know how many years it's incredible. That's just it. Do you stop counting at some point? You're just like, it's going to be, and you're just grateful. So
Yeah, very cool. Well played.
I've got a bit of a weird one. I'm grateful for bad relationships and bad gigs I've had. Having, things that didn't work out, or having musical gigs where I had this one gig where I opened for Shrimp. There was a shrimp cocktail bar, and I basically played before the shrimp. And then I've also just had gigs where people don't listen at all. And I'm really thankful for those kind of things where you feel, oh, this is not good. This is not where I'm supposed to be. So I learn, when a really good thing comes along, oh, it's so nice to learn from those things and not to open for Shrimp, to maybe play for people that came to hear me. Is or like those friends, those relationships that are so good, and you feel that you're supporting each other.
Yeah, very cool. I am now going to borrow that. The next time something bad is happening, I'm going to go, you know what? This is like opening for Shrimp.
Like opening for Shrimp.
That is awesome.
That's hilarious.
You guys got lots of experiences or abilities. What abilities are you thankful for?
I got
I think I'm grateful for just every experience that I've had through life. There's been some really tough ones, but those have helped me maybe to appreciate the easy times a little bit more. Tell you what, 2020 has been a year in a lot of people's books, and I haven't even had anybody personally that I know that has been affected by this, but the year in general isn't on my top of my list. I'm looking forward to this being done.
I've already July, and I've heard people already calling it the lost year.
Oof.
Yeah. But the experiences, even this, after you're done with it, it's going to be something that you look back and say, well, there was some positive that came out of it, and personally, in a lot of different ways. But like Tim, super, super, super grateful for my wife and my kids too. Every day, it's just thanks God, just so appreciate the relationships. And then I think in broader sense too, the relationships of other people. And not necessarily, it's kind of funny, you get to choose your spouse. Everybody else kind of comes on board without your real approval or attention. They just are there. People you work with, people you go to church with, your church family, extended family, your in-laws, don't necessarily get to pick them, even though you pick their child, you get them, they come along with the package.
Package deal.
And just like my kids, their spouses, and then their further outs, it all comes with the deal. So grateful for relationships.
There you go. Right on. Cammy, you had something?
I did. So I guess when everything happened with my dad and kind of towards the middle of it, because we're somewhat at the end, but we still don't know exactly when he can come back, but hopefully in next year. But I'm actually really grateful for that experience and just kind of everything that happened, which is kind of odd to say, but it definitely was really hard for my family at first, and everything kind of felt like the foundation that my parents built just kind of broke. And just everywhere you stepped, it was like quicksand, like had to like pull your leg out. And once that was done, you're taking another step, and then it was like going into the quicksand again. But right now, just, I guess how like our family is right now, and then with my dad in the Philippines, it seems really solid, and all of us seem a lot closer, and we're supportive, and it's not so much arguing and fighting over the little things. But it's more of like, how can I help you? How can I support you with what you want to achieve, what you want to do? And we kind of take, family time and like holidays and like certain things a little bit more seriously. Like we try to be together as much as possible. Whereas I feel like when my dad was here, I remember him saying, you never know when the last day is going to be. Like, try to be with family. But as a teenager, you just want to hang out with your friends. You don't really think of that. And that just always stuck with me. So I'm thankful for that experience for sure. And also nursing school, just seeing people at their most vulnerable times and you trying to do everything you can to help them, whether it's, like they're diabetic and they're about to get something, amputated because there's nothing else, that they can do for them, or someone with a new heart condition, you're just trying to be there for them. And that was kind of eye-opening too, especially when you take care of a patient that's your age. That was really eye-opening as well. So I'm thankful for both those two experiences.
Powerful. It's pretty awesome for me just to be spending time with you guys, and, amazing levels of maturity and, in your faith walk and just in your maturity of approach to life, because this is an easy question to go, hey, I'm thankful for my 21st birthday when I got this, and you guys went deep right away. So that's cool. But I want to flip this on you then, see if we can stay there. What limitations are you thankful for? Something you can or can't do. Oh, Tim chiming in there. And you can't say me, Tim.
Dang it. I was not going to say you. You are not a limitation for me. I have overcome you. No, that's not what I meant at all.
Good.
I have many, and I'm not thankful for all of them yet. I'm not that mature, but there's one that I do believe has led me to be in a place that helps me do things and has grown me more than any other of my limitations. I can't sing. And because I can't sing, there's no chance that I'm ending up in front of an audience, or that I have to, that I'm going to be leading anything. But I yet have a yearning in my heart to be a part of worship, to be a part of music. I love music. It's one of my absolute favorite things, and I can't make it. I can't create it. I can only appreciate it, turn it up till someone tells me to turn it down. That's pretty much how I work in AV. So I'd say, it's probably worked out pretty well that I learned all the things I learned because I belong on the other side of the microphone.
You're such an asset to this church with those skills. Like, I don't know how these things would be possible. I mean, this wouldn't be possible without you.
Amen.
Amen. I can go next.
Okay.
So a limitation for me is I have a really hard time saying no to people. Like if my calendar is booked, I will still try to find a place and time to squeeze you in, even if it's like 5, 10, 15 minutes if you need help or whatever the case may be. And this year with my current job and just kind of everything going on, it's been really hard for me, but there's always blessings on the other side. And just because you're saying no doesn't, like in my head, if you say no to someone, it's like you're mean, you're not helping them, you're not supporting them, when that's really not the case all the time. So that's been one of the biggest challenges that I've really had to face this year.
And it's just a tip, I think, for all of us here in the group and everybody listening, make note of that next time any of you need to move. Cammie can't say no. So I'm just throwing it out there as a potential
She's
resource.
learned now. She knows how to say no.
Oh yeah. I can help organize, but packing, that's all on you guys.
Anybody else on that one? Like, what? When you think about your limitations, things like Tim, that was an awesome example because that's one he and I share. But any other limitations?
Okay.
Sarah.
Yeah, I'll stay a bit vague on this front, but always when I was a kid in school and like through high school, always and still, I would always have really high grades, but my notes from my teachers were always try to speed up. Like I would do really well on the test, but it would take me so long. And even just with reading, which I love so much, for so many years, it used to take me the longest time to read, 10 pages because I would be reading over and over and over again to make sure that I fully understood it. And I was just so obsessive with the details that while the work was high quality, it slowed me down a lot. So that is something I've always kind of been working against and getting a lot better with. But I'm really grateful for that because in learning these subjects, or in learning a new program or system, that I really have these details, a strong command of them just from all the time that it used to drive me crazy going over it and over it. So it was painful at the moment and it was something to overcome, but I learned a lot and I think it was helpful.
Do you think it contributed to your, sorry, and I got to ask, do you think it contributed to your picking up Chinese as a language that you speak?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that I would pore over it way longer than was necessary was helpful.
Yeah.
I didn't know you spoke Chinese.
Oh yeah, better when I was younger, but yeah.
Wow.
For me, I like to, Cammie, I'm the same way. I have a hard time saying no to things. And in the past, I did so much of not saying no that it was a detriment to my health. Just biting off more than I could chew. And I've learned along the way that it's okay to say no to certain things. And now when opportunities come up, I really pray about them. And I try to really consider whether it's the right thing to do, move forward with or not. And didn't do that in the past so much. And it was a challenge for me, but it's all worked out for the better. Me personally, I'm the kind of guy, I work real hard. I just go at it. And all of a sudden at my work, I'm going through and blazing trails and getting stuff done. And all of a sudden I'm done. And now I'm finding like I'm at home working right now. And all of a sudden I'll just plop myself on the couch. And then that's the wrong thing to do. I am known for plopping myself on the couch. And then it takes me a little bit of a while. I got things that got to get done around here. And it takes me a while to get adjusted to doing that. And so I'm trying to not plop myself down on the couch as soon as I get out of the office because I'm already sitting all day long. And I try to get things done and keep the momentum going. And so that's a weakness of mine. If I don't keep that momentum going, I'm done. I'm spent. And it gets tougher as you get older.
Indeed. So can I press you a little bit, Tony? So how are you thankful for those two things? Or are you? Let me put it that way. That was a presumption. Are you thankful for those?
I am, because first of all, in the first one, taking on smaller projects or a smaller amount of projects, I'm finding myself being able to do them better. For instance, really connecting with the people at church that, as an elder, that have been given to me, that I was blessed to have to minister over, spending more time with them, talking with them, and that was one of the things I really wanted to do. And I'm able to do that. I had to set aside other things that I've been asked to do in order to do that. So I'm thankful for that in particular. So I can't complain. Can't complain about that at all. Yeah.
So I'm going to be even more general, I think, than Sarah was, and even take it up a little bit more of the stratosphere. Maybe because just like Tim, there are so many limitations that I can't even put my finger on them. But the one thing that I've been grateful in my limitations, and there are two in particular that I think about, but it's taught me to depend on others. And I think, for the person, I just pity the person who's perfect in every way because they don't need anyone, right? And I need lots of people around me to be successful in life, in particular with IT issues. So thank you, Tim. Thank you, all the IT people out there in the world. I'm a putz when it comes to a computer. And I just got a new computer this week too. So it's first and foremost on my mind because even tonight's stream doesn't look like it's ever looked to me before in the past months. What we've been doing this, and I can't even figure out how to make it look the same way. So that's one deal. And then the other thing is accounting. I'm just not really good at putting beans together. But regardless of the specifics, just being able to be able to count on other people and so appreciate the gifts and skills that they have that I don't have. It's great. I mean, it really is. It makes me feel grateful that there are other people in the world that I can count on, depend on, and that I need.
Yeah, that's awesome. In fact, that is a recipe for making a fantastic leader. I think you alluded to the recipe of a pretty bad leader. One who thinks they're perfect, they got it all together. It's like, well, then you can do all this. You don't need people. Well, that's not true. But the leader that recognizes, hey, this is my skill set. This is what I got. I don't have this, and this. So they surround themselves with those people, and everybody's better for it. So that was pretty cool. One limitation I have that it's taken me a long time to get to a place of saying that I'm grateful for it, but I have ADD in a serious way, and to grow up with a learning disability is a very difficult thing, especially when it's not understood as well. Like now, I think it's understood way more than it was when I was a kid. So you grow up, with certain things that, people either think about you, say to you, assume about you. So you start to internalize that, and that can be, really detrimental. But what I've learned from it, one is some resilience, like different ways to overcome it. And I've also learned that God's used it to help me be more compassionate and have more empathy towards other people. That's then fuels that energy of the ADD guy, my passion to stand up for them. And it's turned out, I look back across my career has always been about, raising up the voice of people whose voices aren't being listened to. And, because of their particular limitation of their scenario, whether it's, kids that are in situations of abuse, whether it's individuals with learning disabilities, whether it's individuals with developmental disabilities. And it's seeing them differently than I think a lot of people do, right? A lot of people look at somebody with a disability of some sort and they see that limitation. And I think because that's how I grew up, I see them for the person that they are and like, oh yeah, and they have this, by the way, right? You ever notice our language is really powerful too, right? People that, like, for example, we go, that guy's schizophrenic. It's like, no, he has schizophrenia. There's a difference, right? You wouldn't say, that guy is diabetes, right? We wouldn't say that, and so that's, so I've become later in life, even though it's been a lot of pain and challenges, you ask my poor wife, I've become grateful for it because I realize what it's given me. It's funny to say a limitation has given me something, but you said that same thing, Tom, about, what it's given you and each of you in your own, in those different ways. I think, Sarah, you talked about it as well. It's like being grateful for this bad gig because it puts it in, contrast, and it gives me, I have something to hold on to when it's great. It's like, yeah, that's what I was looking for, So yeah, it's interesting to ask about being grateful for things that would otherwise you think, no, I'm not grateful that I'm not tall enough to, dunk a basketball over, Rick. In fact, I've had Spalding across my forehead because Rick has denied my shots.
It's neat, Ed. When you say, while you're talking, I'm thinking of all the countless people that have come across, have been in your path in your career, and the benefits that you've given them because of your compassion. Having had a limitation in your life, that compassion has come out and has been such a blessing to so many. And you're in the field that God has put you in. You're doing God's work, and I think it's a treasure to be able to do that and help people who have.
It's a tremendous privilege and a blessing to me. Absolutely, I
awesome.
Thank you. I agree.
Awesome. Yeah.
I think he has me where it feels right. When it's like that perfect pair of shoes, you put it in, or that, that shirt. It just feels so right. And
yeah. And how many of us know people who have had physical or emotional or mental, health issues, illnesses, and have been able to bring those and help other people who are suffering with them today. I can't tell you, I can't count. I just can't stop counting. There's so many of them that I would, it would take me a whole day to be able to name them all, because it's incredible the gifts that God gives us through our limitations. And you're a good witness to that. Thanks, Ed.
Oh, that reminds me. I was reading a verse last night that I'm just gonna destroy and not say properly. So I'll paraphrase the New Sarah translation. And it was something about, I think it might have been Paul, just that he would boast in his weaknesses and his point of failure, because it's a chance where God can show himself. I mean, I think what you guys have said just displays that so beautifully.
You did a good job of that paraphrase. That's pretty spot on with what Paul said. Mm-hmm. Well done.
Yep, the NST version.
That's right, the New Sarah translation. I like that. So let's kind of get about the people in our lives for a second and say, what have others in your life done for you that you're thankful for? And you may not even know that person, right? You could be getting the benefit of something somebody did. Or it could be somebody, and all you guys, I know you're going to run right way, and you should. So I'm going to take it off the table for you. You should be thinking of your wives right now. But now we're going to all agree. We love the wives. We can't live without them. Now you got to go. I want you to stretch it. Something that somebody's done for you in your life.
Holy cow. What was that?
Sarah's like, one?
Maybe my phone is going weird, but the sound just went. Did anyone hear that?
We heard that. It was.
I thought it was.
That happened to me last time, right? Didn't I get all weird?
I don't want to say anything like that. Sounds like I'm being mean if I say yes, Ed. In the past, you got all weird. I mean, I'm your brother. You're just teeing it up for me. The truth of the matter is, yes, you had audio issues last time.
Right.
So.
That sounded like somebody.
Thank you for holding back on that one, Tim. But I got you. All right.
So you're.
I felt like I needed to.
That you're thankful for.
I feel like I needed to offer somebody a handkerchief there for a minute. Anyways.
That was the NSA person listening in on this call, sneezing. And God bless you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Ed, if I could start, I'd obviously I met Kim in the summer of 1979, and she has, and I've got three people. I'm going to make it as quickly as I can. I could talk again, right? I could write a book, but Kim has been the person that has reeled me in so many situations. Our communication is really good. From not being a good listener to becoming a better listener, to just the love that she shows me, unconditional love, has been incredible for 40 years. And I am so grateful for that. I'm also grateful for a son who has challenged me, not just, how can I say it, in his beliefs, and just challenging us and growing in our faith. But every time I talk to my son, he always has something wise to have a discussion about. And for me, it's completely challenging. And I feel like I can't answer a lot of the questions. And I said, I don't have the answer, but let's keep talking. What do you think? And we have these conversations. And through the years, we have grown in that. And we always look forward to our challenge, our conversations and the debates we have and the things that we do. And it's making me a better person, and actually being honest with each other and taking a look within our hearts together and where we're at is truly something. And finally, I have a mentor in my career. His name is Mike, and he was a guy that helped groom me as a leader for 25 years. He retired a couple of years ago, and I owe so much to Mike, because Mike has given me the direction on how to be a better leader all the way up to the corporate level of our company. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. And so I'm so grateful for the way he talked to me and took the time with me. We had lunches just about every day when we worked together at the main office, and it grew a lot. And I have to say, if I walk away from one thing that he taught me is to just look at people as assets, treasures, because they are the number one reason for our company to continue to excel. And you need to praise in public, but criticize in private, and things like that. Little conversations like that help make me a better person and help raise up a staff and build morale in the company. And so, thank you, Mike. That's all I've got.
Very cool. Very cool. Mentors are extremely valuable, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in on that one?
I can go.
Sure.
No one wants to. Okay. So like Tony, I have a couple people. So obviously my parents, they're my support system, whether it was dancing, ballet, nursing school in general, just they were always there. Getting my first job and my current job being as stressful it is, then, you know, even with my dad being miles and miles away over FaceTime, he still has these little, you know, pieces of advice we talk every night that he gives me, and, you know, just pray about it. Don't worry, the Lord's got you. So I'm super thankful for them. And then siblings. There was a point in time my sister and I didn't really see eye to eye. But when she started working with me, I was like, oh, like, it's going to be fun, but it's going to be rough because working with siblings is always hard sometimes. But, you know, I pushed her as hard as I could. And now she, you know, she's working at Olive View as an OR nurse, and she's thriving. So I'm super, you know, thankful for that. And, you know, my brother, he always knows how to make me smile if, you know, I'm in a terrible mood. Clearly earlier he was making me laugh. And just, you know, trying to.
He easily makes people laugh.
Yeah, he's the comedian of the family.
The man.
And then, yeah. And then there's actually a high school counselor I had, and I already knew I was going to COC in junior high. As a junior in high school, I knew I was going to COC already. And I was one of the 2 people in the class that wasn't taking the PSAT. And if you get a good score, you get, like, you know, some money for college. And she looked at me and she kind of called me out in front of everyone and was like, why aren't you taking the PSAT? What's your plan? And I said, well, I'm going to COC and you don't really need that. So I'm not going to stress myself over it. And she goes, oh, you're just going to COC. Well, you're not really going to become of anything because it's a community college. You're not really going to go far in life. And she's like saying this in front of all my classmates. And I'm just like, okay, wow. Thank you for that amazing pep talk.
No kidding.
So then, yeah. And that kind of, it's weird. That negativity I used really, that pushed me to get my prereqs done in a timely manner, to get through nursing school. And when I graduated nursing school and was walking across the stage and getting pinned, I just thought of her. And, like, I kind of went back in that moment and I was just like, I guess I never became of anything. And maybe I'll be your nurse one day. We'll see, you know, kind of thing. And it was a really, that negativity really fueled me. And now I'm just like, no one can really, you know, they can say everything you want, but it really comes down to you in the end to push yourself. So
way to press through it, Cammie. Way to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a challenging situation that you used. That's pretty powerful. That is pretty cool. So so I'll roll to that next one. You kind of bounce us right to it, which is, so what are there about challenges or difficulties that you've experienced that you're grateful for? Like, and I'm talking go hard, like really look at some difficult ones. Cammie kind of started us right there with that, but like, I'm talking like some of those, what insights have you gained? What values, what things have changed for you and improved your life out of some pretty significant challenges? And I'm talking like getting fired, losing a loved one. I mean, these big challenges that come and smack you in the face in life. Can you be grateful for those? And how?
I think you can, but I think it's important to understand that grateful doesn't mean that you are grateful for every aspect of it. Like,
or you even like it.
That you even like it, but that you can understand what God did through it. So as an example, I can be still a mourning son for the loss of my father and be grateful for how God, through that death, did many wonderful blessings in my life, including in your life, and which were blessings in my life, and it helped me to be a better father, and it motivated me. No, I'm not grateful that he died. I can't go to that level, but I can be absolutely profoundly grateful for God showing up and solidifying my faith so solidly in that's like I'm using the same word over and over again. He did such a foundational structure, if you will, of the faith in my life around that cataclysmic event in my life. And same thing happened if I lose my job. I'm not gonna go into the details, but God took the darkest thing that happens when you're the breadwinner. You've got kids, your wife is taking care of the home and keeping you alive and fed and clothed and loving you, and your job is to have a job. But God, again, absolutely, just I can be grateful for that one because humility came with that, and I definitely needed more of that. No more though. I'm good on the humility.
Reminds me of the scene from Evan Almighty when he tells him, everything I do is because I love you. And then there's one point where like everything seems to be falling apart, and he goes, okay, God, I know you said you do everything. Can you love me a little less? Yeah, it is hard to be thankful for those very difficult things. In fact, it's funny, a friend of mine, whoa, I did something to my screen. Am I still there?
We see it.
Oh, there I am. Sorry, I didn't change to you guys, but I changed to me.
We just get to watch the panic on your face. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, I bet you that was funny. Don't touch the touchpad. But similar, having lost a job, and it was not when I lost it. This is when I go there, somebody else is doing it. But and a friend of mine said to me, he goes, I know this is tough. I know this is dark right now. He goes, but I promise you that there'll be a point in your life, and it's probably not going to be that far away, where you'll fight the urge to write them a thank you letter. And he was absolutely right. He was absolutely right. And that was a neat way of doing the encouragement, right? Because saying, hey, it'll be all right, there'll be something around the corner, those are all nice things, and it's true, but to kind of make it tangible for me. And I remember calling him. I remember calling him, like, remember when you said, today's that day, dude.
Well, I guess I kind of mentioned it throughout Beyond tonight is, the situation with my dad, I'm thankful for, like, what it's done for our family. And I mean, it can go completely negative, like we're torn apart. He's missed my high school graduation, my nursing school, like the list can go on, just not for me, like for my other siblings, like he missed the birth of his first grandchild and just all these little things, but on the flip side, like, I think we're stronger than anything ever before. Just as a family, we're so, tight knit, and we try to do as much and, enjoy the time as possible. And that high school counselor, I'm also thankful for. And in the dancing world, I'm very short, and I'm actually considered, fat in the dancing world. So kind of going through that as a teenage girl at 13, you know, saying, hey, like you should try these diet recommendations, you should do this, you should do that. That was a complete struggle in itself mentally. And I'm actually, you know, somewhat thankful for that, because it's still a struggle today. There's sometimes I kind of go in that little rabbit hole, but just thankful, you know, like of my body and like what it can do now, you know, and just trying to not get into that mode. You know,
I just like to say that, you know, as a, you know, pretty much seriously bad soccer player, like I mean, bad isn't good. You could break all those dancers. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah. And it's funny because my mom always laughs when I play soccer, because like my dance moves will come out when like trying to trap the ball and stuff. And like everyone gets freaked out. They're like, oh, I'm not going to, you know, go against her, which is kind of nice.
Yes, right. But,
they assume it's kung fu. They don't.
That's
know
right. They're going, whoa.
But so I'm thankful, you know, for that experience too, because it's just kind of made me appreciate, you know, the body that I have and that God gave me. And, you know, this is how I'm meant to be. It's not because someone should try to chisel me how I should be. This is how I was made. And I was I was wonderfully made. Yes. So that kind of really changed my perspective.
I'm digging that. That is cool.
And you're beautiful. So I would like to know the name of the person that I'm going to go for them.
Thank you.
We got you covered, Cammie.
Yeah, that's right.
I appreciate it.
You know, I really appreciate, you know, just the wonderful honesty and you know, transparency and depth and vulnerability, you know, through this, because these are some toughies, and so I appreciate it, and I know our congregation who's tuning in and hopefully experiencing the blessings from this, you know, appreciate that as well, and I just I'm humbled by spending this time with you guys. Cammie, Sarah, you give me hope for the upcoming generation. And you know, and the rest of you guys, I just appreciate the wisdom and the honesty and I think I'm hoping also that all of our wives, you know, are hearing how much we are grateful and care for them, because they're tremendous gifts. Family, Cammie, it is without a doubt. It shows like big time how tight knit your family is. You can't meet you guys and not get that, you know. So that's pretty cool. So I think, you know, I know we're going to run a little bit over. I'm sorry about that, but I've just been so enjoying the time with you guys. Sarah, would you you know, take it away with our next song, and then we'll wrap this show up.
All right. Well, this is a great one. I remember hearing this song at Bethlehem when I first came there. Oh my gosh, when? Many, many years ago, in the dawn of time. I love this song. I love the place that it comes from. And it mirrors a lot of what we talked about with being grateful for the difficult times. Blessed be your name in the land that is plentiful, where your streams of abundance flow. Blessed be your name. Blessed be your name when I'm found in the desert place. Though I walk through the wilderness, blessed be your name. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be your name when the sun's shining down on me, when the world's all as it should be. Blessed be your name. Blessed be your name on the road marked with suffering, Though there's pain in the offering, blessed be your name. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. You give and take away. Yes, you give and take away, Lord. But my heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name.
Always awesome, always wonderful. Thank you, Sarah. That summarizes it, right? That pulls it all together. Before we go to our closing song, I want to tell everybody, hey, on Sunday, we're gonna pick this up again, and we're gonna learn more about how, gratitude as our lens, fostered by, that relationship with Jesus, how it battles back and renders powerless such things as, sin and loss, worry, fear, hopelessness, powerlessness, emptiness, right? Pushes back against that, right? And our salvation is that eternal game changer. When we can simultaneously acknowledge our failures, the failures of others, and our value and that value of others in the eyes of God, gratitude can fully flow, right? In and through us to live inspired lives of purpose, right? That's the point. Because Tim reminded us last week, right? That same power that raised Christ from the dead is in us now, right? And grace, that has the power not only to forgive us, right, but to heal us, right, Tim? And so I pray that you'll hear grateful words that Sarah will be singing in our next song, right? And that you'll truly know that you're loved. And that gives you such a sense of thankfulness that gives you the power to love others. Sarah, take us away.
I just want to say, and I know everyone will agree, Ed, thank you so much for leading us this week and for that beautiful message.
Thank you.
And really great to have you as a part of this.
Thank you.
So yes, this next one is a very grateful song. Feel free to dance in your chairs. God does not mind. This is called From the Day. When you found me, I was so blind. My sin was before me. I was swallowed by pride. But out of the darkness, you brought me to your light. Yes, you did. You showed me new mercy. You opened up my eyes. Hey! From the day you saved my soul till the very moment that I come home, I sing, I dance, my heart will overflow. From the day you saved my soul. is all around. An endless joy is the only sound. Rest my heart forever now. Oh, here in your arms I'll always be found. From the day you saved my soul till the very moment when I come home, I say I'll dance, my heart will overflow. Yeah, from the day you saved my soul. My love is yours. My heart is yours. My life is yours forever. Singing my love is yours. My heart is yours. My life is yours forever. Yeah. From the day you saved my soul, till the very moment when I come home, I sing, I dance, my heart will overflow. From the day you saved my soul, from the day you saved my soul, till the very moment when I come home, I sing, I dance, my heart will overflow. From the day you saved my soul.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. You bless us so abundantly. All of you. Thank you guys for your participation and your just care for one another and your honesty and like I said, transparency just to help others. I hope that it's been a blessing to all of you watching. And so I wanted to say, hey, we're going to dive into this a little bit more on Sunday. You can be in person. There are still seats left. So make your reservation online, 8 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. Or you can watch this live stream on all of our channels. So big, like earlier, big gratitude, big shout out to Tim and the AV team for making that happen. We have a whole other tech booth, right? There's the tech booth that we all know of. Now we have a whole other one that manages the stream. I mean, these guys are incredible.
Which we thank Baker Evans for building.
Yeah.
And we call that the
cameras
tower.
all over the place. It's just incredible. It's just incredible. Our size church, the resources that God has given us with, beauty of music with Sarah and Tony and Fino and all the other folks in the band, the depth of care and ministry with Tim and Joe and, our Tom, our head elder, and the whole elder crew. And then the Crossfire. We are so blessed by you guys, Cammie. I know you guys are, blessed by Tim, but you turn around and make that a blessing in the spheres of influence that you have. So take that gratitude for what God is pouring into your life and love others, and share it with them. Because you're loved by your Bethlehem family, you get to, in your God, and you get to go out and do that and love others. So we want some more people to get that and to experience that. So invite them. Share the stream, right? We're international, by the way. We're even getting watched from Ireland, right?
Cool.
Yeah, we are international internet sensations. Okay, we're not, but God is. So anyway, hey, I know we went long, and I thank you. Go in peace, serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.